Hey, what's up? I'm gonna do a video request from a duderushki named Pixel Cop Gaming. Video request. What do you think about ISIS? Greetings from your mate from Holland. So no, ICE. So I guess they changed it from ICE. It was ISIS, and then they changed it to ISIL, and then now it's ICE. So ISIS. So yeah, I think he means ISIS. So and this is a dude from Holland, which is right next to Belgium, which is the place that's getting all the attacks. So, and the Hollandish, they have Muslims there too. When I was in Holland, that's why I was riding my bike down the road and I saw this Muslim lady with the whole thing over her head. I don't think it wasn't her covering her face, although I saw that in Sweden once. But over her hair, like, and I'm like, hey, is this the way to the next town? And she fucking bout faces and runs away from me, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What's wrong with that bitch? I would be, yeah, I'd be a little bit worried if I was living out there. Let me tell you what I think everybody should do about ISIS and ISIL. I agree with Young Turks and Cenk Uygur in that it's not really a Muslim problem. And that's not the way to fix it, is to like kind of go and say, oh no, we have to say that it's an Islamic threat. What's going on is, like, the last guy who blew himself up was 21 years old. And so, I mean, that's younger than my wife's kid, I mean, that's like, these are little kids. They don't know anything. And so the problem obviously is going to persist and isn't like some ideological thing, Those 21-year-old people don't really have ideological. It's more like extreme ignorance causes people to do that. So I think what you got to do is just fix extreme ignorance. The people who want to go after the Muslims, like the religious people, Cruz, and they are stupid. They should realize that Jesus and religious people, truly religious people, and Jesus especially, would say that like, the world's a big pueblo. Like if somebody steals your coat, steals your money, give them your coat. If somebody slaps you, give them the other cheek to slap. It's better to give than to receive. Go the extra mile. And they're not. When he said that, they're not being like, yeah, everybody but the Muslims. It's freaking ridiculous, man. The Muslims live there. The Muslims live in the Middle East. So you'd think that if it would be anybody, you would want to start there, right? Like with the Crusades, we got to go back to the Holy Land, protect the Holy Land, protect Israel. Well, if it's the Holy Land, why don't you protect the people there? It's the most important. So anyway, yeah, so the people, they escape and they come to Europe. And it gets scary because, they come in droves. And along with the droves come the baddies who can then orchestrate the attacks. So I think the way that we should look at it is the baddies who come with the all of the refugees. It's just kind of like it's a mathematical certainty you'd have to figure in. Like, there's always impurities that come in with stuff. So to go, oh no, impurities. Oh, well, then we hate everybody. That's the exact opposite of what religion should be about. Yeah, so it's just ignorance, and we're a global community now. Everybody's on the internet. Everybody can communicate with everybody instantaneously. So that's how we should look at the world, as a global community with like one country. And so all of those Muslims and stuff, it's not the other. You can't look at them at the other in any way, man. You can't be like, those freaking poor people coming here didn't, like the Muslim, supporters. What you have to do is you have to try to take them in and as your own and help them and trust them and all that. But at the same time, be strong, like what Trump says, be strong in communicating the law, of your country and how it's, I saw this video, I think on the Young Turks, and some kid was at a Trump rally was saying, you know what, somebody got fired because he didn't want to wear a pig hat, so I'm wearing a pig hat, And Jake didn't think that was a good idea, but I think that's great. Stuff like that's perfect to do. Just completely disrespecting stupid rules like that. Drawing Muhammad. I have a YouTube video that I made like in 2010 saying that we should all draw Muhammad on YouTube, you know. And so I drew a big old picture of Muhammad with a little dick or something like that, getting beat up, just to you know, disrespect, just to dispel, to fight that those bullshit beliefs, because that's not Islam, that's not Muslim. Like you can't draw Muhammad. It's written in the Quran. You can't draw Muhammad, but but to say that you can't draw Muhammad now and that makes you not Islam is that's not right. I could draw Muhammad right now and say yeah this doesn't make me any less Islam. This isn't anti-Islam. They could be like, oh, but it's written in the Quran that you're not supposed to draw Muhammad. I'm like, oh yeah no. They're meaning like as an effigy. But if you're gonna draw Muhammad as a fuck you to all the other motherfuckers who say you can't draw Muhammad, that's why I'm drawing Muhammad. You know, like if that was an appendix that Muhammad would have said in the Quran, he would have said that. And if you want to argue that, you can argue that. But, you know what I mean? So people shy away from arguing religion too much. You know, there's that old saying, never talk about politics or religion, or we don't talk about politics and religion in this family because it makes people upset or something. But you have to talk about religion. That's what the I think that's pretty much the new step. That's where politics is going to turn to pretty soon. That's the next step politics will turn to. The new kind of conversations people will have is actual religious conversations. For example, the abortion debate won't be complete without a conversation about what happens in the afterlife and to the soul and all that kind of stuff. It'll have to become a religious debate. You know, people will no longer be able to go, you know what, we're not going to go there. That's not what it's about. Yeah, that actually is what it's about. It's what it's always been about, so that's what we got to talk about. Duh. So yeah, that's how you fix the ISIS problem. You just talk trash about the stupid fundamentalist aspects of Islam and Christianity, you know. And whenever they say something about Islam, like I was talking about with my mom the other day, you know, we're talking about the bombing, and mom's like, yeah, those bombings, they want the world to be Islam because it's written in the Quran, you know. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, you could say the same thing about the Old Testament. She's like, yeah. So just talk trash about all of it, and then you can actually talk about religion, which is the most interesting thing to talk about, and the development of religion and the development of our religious ideas, which is tied in with our political ideas, you know. And then we can start to talk about really interesting stuff and the future development of it all. And so that's the next step. You just have to talk about it, and you have to treat these bombings like as though there were normal Europeans, white Europeans doing them. You know, you can't go, oh, get all the Jews. That's what they did in World War II. You can't be Nazi again. You have to find out who did it and get them, and then protect the other Muslims from getting beat up by racist white people. And then it'll all be fine, because then the people close to the Muslims, or the people who could sway the opinions of these possible Muslim suicide bombers, you know, would sway their opinion. And, you know, kind of like a growth of love would grow out, and it would reach the whole world, and there would be nobody left to be confused enough to want to kill themselves and blow stuff up, you know. Yeah. Don't be racist. Just get the guys who bombed it, and it'll be okay in a few years. Yeah, you do a lot of James Bond. Throw a bunch of James Bonds out there with GoPros. Maybe you can make money on YouTube videos, reality show, going after the Muslims. All right, peace out.